hermit crabs wearing our rubbish? Are insects really attracted to light? And can we finally see how other animals view colours? What a Wild Week! Welcome to What a Wild Week, a weekly series where I summarise some of the biggest stories to come out of the natural world each week. Scientists have discovered the surprising truth behind insects' attraction to light. For centuries, the curious behaviour of flying insects swarming around bright lights has captivated scientists and poets like a moth to a flame. A study published in Nature Communications suggests that it might be a little bit more complicated than we previously thought. We've all seen and heard stories about insects being attracted to bright lights.
Oh, Harry, no! Don't look at the light! I can't help it. It's so beautiful.
It's sort of one of those weird things that's embedded in common knowledge. But contrary to popular belief, researchers are now proposing that it's not attraction, but rather confusion that leads insects to flutter around lamps, streetlights, and other artificial light sources at night. Essentially, insects have a navigational problem. They're used to using light as a cue to know which way is up. Insects aren't flying directly towards a light source. Instead, what they're doing is tilting their back towards the light. Now, this behaviour makes complete sense if you're flying around outside and the strongest light source is coming from above you. But artificial lights seem to be throwing insects into a mid-air confusion. To study this, researchers attached tiny sensors to moths and dragonflies, filming motion capture footage of their flights. Alongside this, they also set up high-resolution cameras at a field site in Costa Rica to observe insects flying around lights in their natural habitats. Their findings were nothing short of illuminating. Dragonflies were observed circling endlessly around light sources, positioning themselves with their backs facing the beams. Meanwhile, some insects even flipped upside down, often crash landing in the presence of lights that shine straight upward, like searchlights. Interestingly, but not surprisingly, the researchers found that insect flight was least disrupted by lights that shone straight downward. For millions of years, insects have positioned themselves by sensing that the sky is light and the ground is dark, until humans invented artificial lighting. So what does all this mean? Well, the study challenges long-held assumptions and sheds light on the intricate relationship between insects and artificial lights. So it's not really about attraction at all. It's about how human-made changes to the environment can disrupt millennia-old navigation systems. In fact, it's almost funny that we've been convincing ourselves for this long that it's about insect preference as opposed to human disturbance. A new camera shows us what the world looks like to different animals. Have you ever wondered what it's like to see the world through the eyes of another animal? From bees to birds, reindeer to mice, many animals perceive the world in hues beyond our human spectrum, including ultraviolet light. Scientists specialising in colour vision have unveiled a revolutionary breakthrough, a camera system and software package that grants us a glimpse into the kaleidoscopic world of animal vision. Each species sees the world in a completely different way. Imagine the sky not just as blue, but as a symphony of ultraviolet hues, unseen to our human eyes. Thanks to this cutting-edge camera system, we can now gain a deeper understanding. With false colour imagery, we can shift the perceivable colours of animals into the human visible range, offering us a glimpse into the vibrant world. Until now, false colour imagery was limited to stationary objects that don't move, leaving the dynamic world of nature completely untouched. But this new camera records in ultraviolet and visible light simultaneously, capturing the dynamic movements of the living world. By synchronizing and overlaying recordings from two cameras, one capturing UV light and the other one capturing visible light, scientists can then estimate how scenes appear to different animals with their unique vantage points. This opens up a treasure trove of possibilities for research and discovery. And what's even more great news is that the tools and knowledge are freely available online. The team have shared all codes necessary for implementing the video conversions, and the plans for the camera system for anyone who wants to try it. Hermit crabs are using our plastic waste for their homes. The terrestrial hermit crabs, these instantly recognisable, soft-bodied crustaceans, usually known for taking shelter in discarded shells, have opted for a new accessory entirely. These crabs, typically found in tropical regions near water bodies, are shunning traditional mollusk shells in favour of artificial ones, often fashioned from discarded plastic debris found on beaches. I don't think any of us are strangers when it comes to plastic pollution. It's a crisis that has been exponentially increasing, with production expected to double by the year 2050. It's everywhere. In fact, 85% of marine pollution worldwide is plastic. It arrives there mostly via rivers and builds up along coastlines, where hermit crabs tend to hang out. These resourceful crustaceans are making a bold fashion statement by essentially upcycling our beach waste into their homes. But how did researchers stumble across this revelation? Enter the world of ecology, otherwise known as internet ecology, where scientists harness the power of digital content via the internet to study ecological phenomena. In other words, looking at stuff online. The researchers came across photographer Sean Miller, who had posted his photos of some hermit crabs flaunting plastic shells back in 2014. These photos went on to inspire the entire study. To quantify the hermit crab behaviour, researchers reviewed images across several online platforms and paired their findings with a review of the literature. So what were their findings? A whopping 386 individual crabs from various species flaunting artificial shells. Interestingly, 84.5% of the images showed crabs with black and white plastic caps, with the rest being glass or metal. So what could be the reason for crabs choosing plastic over natural shells? Well, the most obvious reason is the mass availability of plastic waste, combined with the fact that gastropod shells are simply harder to come by thanks to human activities. But there's some other factors potentially influencing the preference for plastic. Plastic shells might be lighter, so crabs are using less energy lugging them around. Mating female crabs might actually find artificial shells more attractive. There's also a specific odour cue of dimethyl sulfide, which is found in both natural shells and marine waste. And the final factor is the most harrowing of all. Artificial shells are thought to be more effective when it comes to camouflage, due to the heavy pollution within the environment. While the hermit crab's affinity for plastic might seem like a quirky anecdote, it sheds light on the profound impact of human activity on natural ecosystems. Are these plastic shells paving the way for a novel evolutionary trajectory? Or are they simply just another trap of the Anthropocene? So there you have it. Those were some of the wildest stories from the week. Hit the like button, click subscribe, and I'll see you back here next week to catch you up on all things wild.